It's meant to be a presentation. So the speech is not easy. It's just I'll find them. Yeah, so I'll take it around. So what happens is so what happens is so that's all multi-verse trans. Yes, they were really nice. And when I say that, it's not they love it, they love it.
Yeah, they just want to bring up because that's what I do.
Yeah.
All the other invasive. That can be partridge and marijuana, that is another natural tree.
And it has flowers that smell amazing on it, and it sees birds, lovely. It was literally a little. Well, this is just like where I put it. Yes. It does smell.
It's like having fun stuff like that. Just what it means.
Yeah, well, I have to make it for. My mom had things in the dog. Back to her.
So we've got 10,000 to get engineering. But this is going to do it. So it's really nice. And the 9,000 go to library as well as the school. And then there was some national hardship fund money, and they gave us 70% of the money over the price of to do that. So in today's day, all the phones in the Korea, etc., working out how we're going to get the acoustic assessment done. Just like, for example, and he says to me that you're going to have to be the principal design. And I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean? I'm a priest. I'm just a priest. And it means all the health and safety responsibilities to be back on what contracts are in.
Your skill set is knowledge
Of the SSE. Yeah. And then it's sort of.
Hasn't been put in.
No.
Father,
We have no meeting at the moment. We have no meeting. Yeah. So I just just had that. Yes. So we had a small number of people go for this one. I don't know what's said, but we are all good to do. This is what it is. So we just make it as easy as possible, actually, because I'm just so grateful that everybody is coming, you know, there's time to listen. That's question.
so then I'm very happy with, make it as personal and I have to prepare and
But what I'm thinking is that the roughly remote that is recorded, because we're doing this collective stuff so that people can find where that is. So you can like when you get food that's over, it tastes better the next day. And so, so we can move really close up to you, and he really is good with you, and you can play around with it, and you can write down what it records to you.
okay.
And I still ask you questions, and see if you can answer.
Because the word that we say, let's get more of course, the long lecture,
You can't write that. Normally, if I didn't have that, but because what I think I'm trying to do is give people a chance that when you're already
I'm good.
Okay, all right. So people get, I know it's musical. I want you to chill and get some time together and relax because you might have some people coming in here. They're just not going to be here because he's quite let's talk about because watch online. Let's go. I'm telling you, I'm waiting for it to all down. Really trying. The evaluations of the You're right, beloved. I'm sorry I wasn't here. I went to see Hamilton.
Oh, nice.
Somebody called me and was like, come, you don't do any of this anymore. So I'm trying to.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But, Get a break from us. I'm still going to do that project. Don't worry about that. We will not get that rest from you. This child is like, my God, this girl, what are you doing? So much so that I can't find anything. That's appropriate. Danny, come on with me. Don't mind me, come on with me. Come on.
It's hard to tell the voice when you can't see it. When you've got natural light, you can really see what's.
Sort of a grey colour and the dust is taken and polishing with the
Yes. Yeah, no, it's a lot of suspicious. Even after that,
What do you think you think that No, extension model closed down.
And the previous thing was reduce the size.
All that the secondary model is up here where Revd is now. That's the secondary model.
Oh,
This is from a restaurant in Saudi called Sunderland, which is very famous. People come from all over to eat there.
really? It's good food.
Before the lighting started, it wasn't bright.
You just have an alternative there. the church was really close to us. We have people trying to visit it. During the organisation, it's still close to us. We have them because it's close, pretty expensive.
If you're used to this by now,
Yeah.
but used to how detached it is.
Sure, it starts.
Wired up.
Pardon? Yeah, they have their sorting out. All right. Going to, yeah, I'm going to gather the people there. We'll have to go.
We need this one.
No, you don't need it yet. It's really like a meeting.
Okay, yeah, but this,
Yeah.
so that's going to be the one.
Yes. You can leave the back. Do you have mics that you wanted to put on me and the bishop? Do you like the food?
Yeah, it was good. Like smooth.
The samosas. All right, you come in. So he's going to put a mic on you.
Yeah, look, when I'm talking about it.
Okay, everybody close. Someone's on the side. I've got the door in my mouth. This is not a good thing to do. Now I'm trying to. But you live back underneath the table. Yeah, okay. Give me that. Okay. We're just about ready to make this start. Don't need this. You can hear me, you don't hear me. Okay. It's my great pleasure to welcome everyone. Good evening. Thank you for your patience as we've worked out some, how can I describe them? Technical issues. I might change that. For everyone that's in church, I welcome those people that are joining us online or who will watch this at a later point. And I'm praying for all of you as to what it is that we receive from hearing about the story of what God has been doing in different parts of the body of Christ all over the world. So I wanted to welcome you to St. Nicholas particularly. This is Community Theology Thursday or CTT. And it's our hope that we're doing theology in community. We want to do global majority gospel that has really moved into the parish and into the neighbourhood. And I haven't introduced myself. My name is the Reverend Natasha Beckles. I'm the rector here at St. Nicholas Church. It's a very wonderful community of people who've been running and doing all sorts of things, just even this week. It's been busy. I'm also really proud to say that I'm the Dean of Racial Justice for Winston Episcopal area. And our speaker is actually the bishop in the College of Bishops who leads on racial justice. So we're very excited to welcome him when I do that. But we want to be a place that is seeking to be and become a place where anyone who's made in the image of God can really connect with who Christ is and how the life of Christ is lived life, risen life, impacts each and every one of us, and our stories, and our histories, and our cultures, and our roots. And we want to do that in, with, and through Christ, and do that with a compassionate, critical eye on the fact that it hasn't always been a perfect journey for us as Christians. Can we be honest about that? And there is this contested aspect of how much the gift of what God has given us, that dynamic wanting to steal, to kill, and destroy those things, and these ideologies of human hierarchy, and then catalogue of phobias that really mar the image of God in each one of us. We've done that for too many people in this room. So we want to, over the course of these lectures, get the opportunity to see Jesus lifted high in a kind of meaningless way, but in what does that mean in the suffering that has gone on in our history? Not sweeping it away, but allowing God, who is the eternal God, to address it and to deal with it. So let me take a pause before, it's just in case you don't know anything about the housekeeping. I'll do that and then teach you a little bit about how we're going to move forward in the kind of structure of the evening. So in terms of our housekeeping, we're not expecting a fire alarm. So if you hear an alarm, we're going out that door and we're going to stand outside a place called Silicon. Can you say to the person next to you, Silicon? Silicon. That's the place that we're going to. The toilets are out. If you go out, any of the doors on the right, the second door on the right. Please do check your mobile phones. I'm very much going to be honest and say that we're going to be looking for some sponsors to do this in the future. If you want to continue to offer this to the community, but if lots of people come, if few people come, we record it so that generations, whenever you're ready to pick up on it, you can come and do that. So, what our structure will be is that very shortly, you'll be glad to know the Right Reverend Anderson Jeremiah will come up here and share with us some thoughts. But we will also engage with some pedagogy in between that. So we'll have his talk, afterwards we'll have an opportunity to think and reflect on what we have heard, and then we're going to do some Q&A. So, I did actually pull up. You're going to be doing lots of editing, I can see this today. It's one of those days people bear with me. I'm struggling. I'm struggling. It's a lot today. It's a lot today because the building is doing beautiful things. And it's a privilege to look after a building, but it's a bit better to tell you about when people do. Yeah, how much of the time will be taken up with that. So, apologies everyone, I can't know what I'm looking. I've got to give you a good introduction. This one is such a beautiful game, just such a gracious one. You know yourself, guys. You do. But you're going to there. We'll do this. Anderson Jeremiah was born and raised in Bangalore, in a South Indian town, in a pastor's family. After his seminary training at the United Theological College in Bangalore, he was ordained as a priest in the Diocese of Bangalore Church of South Indian, an Anglican province. He came to Edinburgh to pursue his doctoral research and served in the Scottish Episcopal Church until his move to Lancaster. He became the first lecturer in World Christianism in the Department of Politics of
philosophy and religion at Caste University. He's been deeply involved in the church in Lancashire. He's an elected member of the Church of England's General Synod, and he does a lot of work to represent theological education institutions and universities, serving on the Faith and Order Commission and the Missionary Council. He's globally recognised as an Anglican theologian with research interests in the lived facets of world Christianity and its theological, political, and missional engagement in wider society. He's deeply passionate about social and environmental justice as a gospel imperative. And his passion for working towards justice and peace is central to Christian discipleship and stemmed from his lived experience as a direct Christian. Dear friends, I wonder if you give a warm welcome to Bishop Anderson Jones, the Bishop of Edmonton.
Brilliant. Thank you, Reverend Natasha, for giving this opportunity to come and share my own journey, my story, and also how the story of millions of people are woven into that narrative. So let me start with one of my first experiences. So when I was posted as a curate in one of the rural pastorates, so this pastorate had about 19 different village congregations. So the training and government and myself, the task that was given to me was that I should go at least one village at least once every Sunday, so that I can cover up to 4 congregations in one Sunday. So you conduct 4 community services, so that at least over the month you're able to cover most of the 19 congregations. So at least they would have had one Eucharist once a month. So that used to be the kind of life of curates in South India. This is Church of South India, Diocese of Welland, where I was ordained. So it was one of those Sundays. There I very vividly remember, it's a Trinity, Holy Trinity Sunday. So everyone was invited to reflect on the relationship of Trinity. So there I was, freshly out of the seminary. I was ordained in April, May, and I'm doing preaching about Trinity in one of the village congregations. So I show up, I explain in all its beauty, Karl Barth's understanding of dogmatics, explaining the connection between the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And I thought I was really rocking it. Everybody was attentive, listening. But suddenly, as I was sharing these theological expositions, I also noticed that some of them were looking past me. They were dazed. They weren't fully understanding what was going on here. So something prompted me to stop and ask, are you all with me? Are you listening to me? There was this one elder who was very truthful. He said, Pastor, we are not actually listening to you. We can't listen. Simply because we have not had any food for the past 3 days. I stood there completely in utter shock, not knowing how to respond. So then I asked, so what is going on? Because I just showed up that Sunday morning there to conduct the Eucharist and not actually bother to know what they've been through. So then this elder, along with others, explained to me the reason that they have been is that This is height of Indian summer, so the local factory, which produces mango pulp and things like that, has shut down because there's no water, therefore the factory has been shut, because most of these people in the village are laborers, they work in the factory, and they are left without any food. They don't have anything else to draw from. Therefore, most of them were sitting in that congregation hungry. There I was trying to explain the theological significance of the Trinity. And this was early, this is perhaps the second month in my ministry. And it gave me a rude awakening, and personally shook me in a sense. There I was standing behind the altar telling people the amazing connection of the Holy Spirit, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, but not knowing where people are. And that was the beginning of my own theological journey, my own theological questioning. By that time, I was, of course, aware of my own upbringing. So again, I'm going to tell another story, because who am I? Who is this person that you all see this evening? So I'm Anderson. I come from Church of South India, a small town in Vellore, which is about 80 miles from Chennai. I grew up in this predominantly Tamil communities that lives, and also it's a kind of very kind of rural area from the super big city of Chennai. And it's also a city of about 1.5 million people, so India is big. So it's a rural, urban kind of crossover place. But it's also a place where you can see all the realities of social, cultural, political, and economic classifications of the Indian society being played out. So I see that there were two wonderful speakers in this series, Raj Bharat and Penny. So it's quite interesting. I do feel like a senior citizen because they were my juniors in seminary. So they're mainly working for me. In a way, they will explain to you the reality of our system, how social classifications and demographics work, how caste system was played out in Indian society in every walks of life. So you have, just to refresh quickly, you have this caste system of Brahmins and Kshatriyas, Vaishyas and Shudras who occupy the fourfold caste communities. But then it's very important to understand there's a whole lot of people who were left out of that caste system because they were considered to be so impure that they can't be even included in the caste system. So that's why they are literally called the outcasts. Okay? So the outcasts are the people who are not good enough to be part of the caste system. So this group consists of about 25% of the Indian population. You can imagine that's about 300 million people. But that's split into more than 500 different internally classified caste communities. So the idea of bringing all these different groups together was a very, very important post-independent era project. That is, since India gained independence, you have all these splintered communities race. So this is a group that was brought together and organized by people like Ambedkar, one of the great leaders of the subaltern community in India. So the term that you probably have heard already, the idea of Dalit, comes from beginning to coordinate all these disparate groups of people. So Dalit, did either Raj or Penny explain to you? Okay, so Dalit is a term. I'm sure, I'm really glad you had some pakoras and samosas. Dalit, it comes from a word that you are probably all familiar with. What do you have in an Indian takeaway or Indian restaurant? Rice and dal. Excellent. So dal it comes from the Sanskrit word. Dal means split open. Split open means broken. A pea that is broken. So the idea of dal is that it's a split pea. Okay? And when you are split, it's trodden, it's trampled upon, it's broken. So this idea was picked up by the early leaders who wanted to bring all these broken communities together. So the Dalit as a category was in order to mobilize all these different communities under one terminology so that they can feel that they belong together. So another term that you might be familiar is the term paraya. How many of you are familiar with the word paraya? Yeah? I am a paraya. Paraya means he is an untouchable. He is outside the caste system. He is socially polluted. Reason being, a pariah is the one who used to deal with dead animals. So a pariah is someone who is always confined to the outside of a village. Why this is very, very important? Because social hierarchy in India is mapped onto the social geography. So if you go to a village in India,